a podcast your mama warned you about. Did ya hear me?
Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 20 of Did You Hear Me? Sleezy on the mic here, and I'm joined by my faithful co-host here, PackMan.
Hey, just trying to survive.
That's right. The sheriff is got a head full of knowledge today for those watching on YouTube. Had to get a hat to cover it all.
Thank you to our illustrious and special guest.
That's right. And
This hat is squeezing all the brain power out.
yeah, and then that leads us to our special guest, friend of the show, Crosberry.
What's up?
He's brought us several different things today. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, your future's so bright you had to wear them shades, huh?
Yeah.
I'm bearing
The
gifts.
wife hates the shades, so
Well, that's a better reason to wear them.
better reason to wear them. Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
wear them 24/7 if my wife said that she didn't like them.
I can barely see them with the olive drab green theme going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead. Tell us, for the listeners who can't see you there, Sheriff, what do you got on your head?
I gotta make sure I pronounce this correctly. Got a noggin hat,
Yeah, it's
and it's tight.
Crosberry.
Oh.
What's the story behind this noggin hat?
So lifelong UGA fan. Found it, had to have it. So
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
yeah. So it's a oversized Georgia Bulldogs black hat that is about I don't know, 4 sizes the size of the sheriff's head.
It slightly fits better on my head.
Not nearly enough tendons to fill that hat.
This seems to be popular. Never
Yeah.
mind.
So yeah.
With the members of the community.
So was it Noggin is the brand?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't want to say nougat. I want to say noggin.
Here we go again.
Circle
Rewind.
back
So
Canceled.
to the Tennessee episode.
funny story that maybe the listeners aren't aware of. So whoever makes this hat, they made a Braves hat that was thrown during the parade last year, or maybe not the parade, but not thrown. You might know it better than me, Crosberry. It was thrown to the Braves by a fan. Was it last year or the year before? It was this year.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
No,
Past
it
year.
was this past year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2023 season. It was thrown to one of the Braves, and they kept it. And then they started using it. If you hit a home run, like a home run celebration, then they would throw the big
Gotcha.
noggin hat on you.
Noggin.
And Ozzie Albies was hot in the beginning of the season, and he's about 5'6", 170 pounds. So it even looks more outrageous on his little body.
That's it.
And the New Era, the sponsor of the hats for the MLB,
Said, oh no.
Shout out.
said, "No, we're not making any money off of this.
Yep.
You can't do it."
Shot him down.
Shot it. They had to confiscate it. Had to get rid of it.
We had some breaking news before the show, and now I'm getting some more breaking news.
That's right. So
I thought I saw Michael Harris II with it on.
you probably did, because they passed it around for the first 2-3 weeks of the season, and then New Era finally saw a clip of something other than the Yankees and said,
What a time to be
"Oh,
alive.
the Braves can't wear that. They're not making any money off of it." So, begs the question, why didn't they jump on the money bandwagon and start making them themselves or something?
Make a home
Patent.
run hat
Is it a
line.
patent? You know what I mean? Could they not?
Yeah, I'm sure you could design it differently and make an outrageously big hat
Yeah. I don't know.
and get money. I don't know. It's just a question. All right, I digress. I should have got to everything before.
All right,
So,
on that note, I'm going to take it off. 'Cause it's
Uh-oh, don't want to get canceled.
No, no. It's
Yeah,
super
new
hot,
eras.
super hot.
not making any money.
Yeah.
we got that New Era sponsorship
Yeah.
on deck,
Yeah,
so
that's
we don't
right.
mess it up.
Don't want to mess it up.
So Crosberry has graciously, not only did he bring the hat to show off, he brought us our drink of the week. You want to tell us what you got?
Yeah, I just brought the Terrapin Frenchy's Blue. They sell it at the actual stadium, but if you're local and I guess anywhere Terrapin sells their beer, you can pick it up.
Yeah, but what's the story? Tell us the story behind the Frenchy Blue.
Well, I guess Jeff Francoeur came up with it.
He did.
And had a blueberry farm, I think maybe with his dad. And
Father-in-law.
Yeah, father-in-law, that's what it was. And started producing it. It's one of my wife's favorites when she goes to the ball field. So
Hey,
Hey,
there you
shout
go.
out Mrs. Crosberry. That's right.
that's right.
The reason I wanted you to tell that is because we've mentioned it before on the show and suffered through a lot of self-promotion from Jeff Francoeur on the Braves. He's the Braves play-by-play was. He's not doing it this year, full-time anyway. Play-by-play guy, and he was proud of his blueberry farm.
I'm excited to try it. I haven't had it.
I have met the man.
Frank
Blueberries did not come up though, but we were at Washington Farm. Shout out.
I remember you
Oconee
telling me
County.
that. Yeah.
He was with his beautiful blonde-headed bride.
Yeah.
Little alliteration there for you.
There you go.
And two.
Shout out blondes.
Shout out to the blondes.
There you go.
Mrs. Crosberry. But I think he's got 3 boys. He has a multitude of children.
Because that's why he's not doing play-by-play full time this year. He wants to go out and watch the little Frenchies.
I understand that. Well with the deputies.
And if you ever watch the Braves telecast, he does not want to miss a round of golf. He has the reddest nose. Well, maybe it's not from golf. I don't know, but his nose is always red. I just assume it's from the sun, but I guess.
He could be on the Mike Bobo diet.
He could be on that too.
Could be checking it
He
on out.
could be the conductor too. I don't know.
Anyway, he was the carnival.
Allegedly. Not even allegedly. We're just making that up.
That's
Okay.
We are definitely making that up. I believe he's a good Christian man, so I don't know.
There you go.
If he's riding the train, pause. But anyway, he was throwing the tennis balls into the carnival.
Oh, at Washington Farm. You're
Yes.
talking about. Okay.
Sorry, he was firing tennis balls at a very high rate of speed at the pole game.
Yeah.
I'm looking over here at Pack to start hijacking what the game's called. But you can go to first, second, third base or a home run. And I just asked him if the Braves had one of these at spring training for him to practice on, because he was
dialed in.
He
huh?
damn near knocked the cardboard or plyboard over.
Yeah.
So the velocity was there, but he wasn't making it in the hole.
Did you?
Story of my life. Story of my life.
I knew it was coming.
Before we crack these open, did you have to go show him how it was done?
I did attempt, and
And
he
who-
looked a lot better doing it. And he has lost significant amount of weight since playing.
He's got a lot of time on his hands.
But he ended up being
Couldn't believe
successful.
that to you.
Yeah, he found the hole,
Yeah.
as did I.
That's a Did You Hear Me classic. They were just making up a whole problem the guy doesn't have. There we go.
Yeah, you know.
Also there, Crosberry, you brought us some party favors here. What'd you bring us?
Oh yeah, just got some. Did you Hear Me podcast koozies for you guys.
Oh, these things are sweet right here. They got our logo on here.
Oh, yeah.
And there are several extra if you're interested in maybe getting your hands on one of these to put one of these.
$52 a pop.
That's right. Still fundraising for the Boom Boom Room.
Yep.
That's right.
But we can work out a discount if you just want one.
We do have a mattress at every corner.
That's behind the scenes info, guys.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so we're
Bleep
gonna
that
go
out.
ahead and put one of these in the newly
Put them in the hole.
given
Shout out to
koozie.
Frenchy.
Already, yeah, there we go.
Right.
I will give Frenchy his due. He was throwing it a lot harder than me, but I think the consistency and accuracy was about the same.
Yeah,
That
tell
sounds
these are
good.
brand new. I got to get it loosened up.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Y'all,
canceled.
Man,
y'all are on one today, aren't
the
you?
innuendo.
Man.
Pack can't even keep up with it.
All right. Got this thing open. This is the first sip. Although I felt like this is like a cousin. I've heard so much about this beer from Jeff Rancourt on the telecast. You can taste his hands in those blueberries.
I was gonna say, yeah. He stomped those blueberries out. I think.
Yeah, you can tell it's that toe jam. He's in like a wine press. He was stomping those blueberries. No, that's actually
It's
pretty
not
good.
bad at all, really.
Yeah.
You like a blueberry beer?
How did I know that Pack was going to like this one? He's always adding to the beer. It's kind of like grits. You just got to add something to it.
Yeah. Well, I've also got some other liquids up here because why not? We're the show of liquids. Sheriff has, brought his extras in here. How long did you wait in the drive-thru for that drink?
Best Super Bowl commercial, but I think
Duncan. That was a good commercial.
the
Maybe
Dunk
you didn't see
Kings.
it.
It's well documented that I'm a fan of all Latinas, but J-Lo didn't hurt.
Yeah, and that's Ben Affleck that was in that commercial. It was a good commercial.
Are they like common law spouses at this point?
I'm not.
This is
not up to
round
speed.
two.
Crosberry, do you keep up with
I
celebrity?
think the wife's over there saying that they're married. He put a ring on it. So
Put a ring on it.
I'm too busy getting distracted by
What is who
Taylor
has
Swift and
who has more rings, Tom Brady or J-Lo?
I'd say J-Lo.
No, Tom Brady, right? How many rings has she gotten?
She's gotten several.
J-Lo's been married 6 times. So.
Oh, so it's a tie.
Good gracious.
Tom got the one in Tampa Bay to break the tie. The script shined upon him when he went to Tampa Bay.
Still though, for the other type of ring, that's pretty impressive. 6 rings.
She has a.
Do you get like wedding showers for each one of those? Because if so, me and special agent need to have a couple more weddings.
She's become more self-aware though. Shout out J-Lo, because she has a musical. It's almost like an hour and 7-minute long music video on Prime.
For one song?
It was multiple songs. I think it's 5 or 6. But it was they snuck it into the commercial. And the eldest female deputy was not going to let a good musical pass by.
It snuck by me. I had no idea.
I had an extra dancer in my living room doing an interpretive dance to J-Lo's movie or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I was enjoying it.
Well, now that we're up to speed on J-Lo.
And the Dunk Kings.
And the Dunkings. Do you want to tell us how long you waited
I
in
was just
line?
going to say, that was a long way to get.
I arrived on Gaines School Road at 13:25 hours and was headed your direction, Sleezy, at 1:50.
Efficient.
In a new building, by the way.
Newly remodeled.
That is.
Just as slow.
That leads me to a question I was actually talking about the other day. How long are y'all willing to wait in a drive-thru? Like, what is acceptable to you? Does it depend on the restaurant? Does it depend on time of day? Because
I don't think I can do 25 minutes for an iced coffee.
I got a sandwich, but it was
25 minutes cold by the time it got.
So I think you
should have been.
Go ahead, Crosberry.
No, I was just going to say, not that long for a coffee. Maybe 15, 20 minutes maybe for some food or something.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're getting and where you're at. Like, you go to the East Side Wendy's, they're notoriously slow. Apparently, they have to ship in the beef to cook a hamburger.
Slaughter the cow right there.
Yeah, it's like moving, and they're like, all right, we're about to get George down with the knife and slice him up. Because you just expect, not that I go there very often, but when I do, I just expect a 20-minute ordeal.
Yes.
And
Zaxby's, all of the restaurants actually, now that we're saying it over here on our side of town, they're all slow. I mean,
they are.
The Zaxby's.
Do you think it's the employment pool they're choosing from?
It's gotta be.
Fast food is no longer fast.
No,
Yeah, but I agree with Crosberry. If it's a drink,
Definitely not.
5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And that's if you already commit to the line. Like, it's a regular line. Now, obviously, if you see a line wrapped around the building out somewhere.
Like the new Whataburger on Atlanta Highway. Does
that one get crowded? I never have.
It was for the first couple of weeks for sure. So.
Yeah, it's a novelty. They're opening one on the east side.
I was just pleased.
You didn't like the Whataburger?
The line moves good, but the food was not it's not up to snuff.
Well,
for Big Brain, most importantly, for Big Brain.
Yeah.
Because we go where Big Brain, we follow Big Brain's palate.
Okay.
I'm sure most married men would say that.
That's right. Well, I have not personally eaten there, but I went there with a workmate of mine, BC, and who likes to frequent hamburger places.
Cousin of Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, that's correct. And so I was pleased to see that they have apparently. Sorry, my equipment quit working. At this Whataburger, when we went through, I was pleased to see that they have partnered with the local probation office to get their employees, because I recognize everybody working there.
Got to.
Including the gentleman who I've had several run-ins before, who delivered said burgers. So I made sure BC was well aware.
Yeah, but what do you do? I mean, who else is going to work at Wendy's and, you know what I mean? Like, you...
Did you have a little roll call like I've seen you do in the past on a certain NFL draft a few years ago?
So the strategy is, when you recognize people as your environment, and I'm talking, for the listeners, I'm talking about people that I've dealt with in the Leo environment that I'm sure y'all all have done before.
If I can interject, this is...
As you can, yes.
The way in which John Wick shoots a gun is the way in which Sleezy recognizes people. It is It may be the 8th wonder of the world.
Now, Crosberry is quite gifted himself. But the strategy for me
See
is,
him right now.
yeah,
That's right. Can't see me.
the strategy for me is if whoever I recognize is going to be intimately involved with,
Let me get these things off.
is going to be intimately involved with something that I will be ingesting, I try to avoid eye contact and make sure they don't recognize me.
Smooth.
But if I'm in the Kroger's or the Walmarts,
The Kroger's.
yeah,
Oh, I like to say Walmart.
yeah, if I see somebody I know, I like to let them know I know who they are. Just to let them know they're not in anonymity if they're thinking
I
about
got
doing
you.
something nefarious.
So,
And it
So what
does
do you
throw them off their OODA loop.
Do you
when
approach them and call them by name?
I don't
Hey,
approach them.
what's up?
But if I pass them, oh yeah, I call them by street
Call
name.
them by name.
By
We know
street
that-
name if I
yeah,
can, because
yeah.
that really
Yeah.
messes with them seeing the elderly white gentleman calling them out.
well, you
And
don't
not to say-
necessarily
yeah.
look like you don't necessarily look like an elderly white man.
Well, I'm just
but
saying, it just throws them off when I'm in my regular clothes and I see,
a Scandinavian calling you out by your street name.
and you call them out by name.
That
and
would get me.
It just throws them off their game, and it's
Yeah.
funny for me to watch because I like human reaction.
Don't think.
I obviously run
This
into
is-
that a lot. I've told stories before here, but
we
I
want
mean-
to clarify that
Well-
Pack does not get called by a street.
You also
No.
have a different dynamic because your children.
my children are in the school district here. They
Yeah.
go to public school, and they don't. Obviously that everybody else's kids go to public
Correct.
school too. So I've had birthday pool parties at the house where the junior
Shares the name.
shares the name of the person that we've dealt with many a time. So, it happens. I've sat down next to people that I've interacted with on numerous occasions at a kindergarten graduation in the
Okay.
past. I mean, it happens to me all the
That's a
time.
good
I'm
point.
always seeing somebody that
School
I've dealt
system.
with. Yeah, and it's usually because my kids are friends with one of them, and Brady has invited the junior over to the house.
Because the
And
kids can't choose who their
Yeah,
parents are.
right,
They
yeah.
can't choose that they have such an illustrious father, such as PackMan.
that's right.
Such
Yeah.
a,
The famous Pack.
other side of things is the other kid's father.
Yeah, that's right. But luckily enough
He's
for
a man
me,
of the people.
Oh yeah.
I am a man of the people. Luckily enough for me, though, the 9 times out of 10, it's the mom or the grandma that brings the kid. In the case of the birthday party at the pool in my backyard, it was the grandma that dropped him off. So it was
Didn't have to go face to face.
didn't have to go
at your
face to-
residence.
at my house.
Right.
Yeah, with him knowing where I live. So works out
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's an interesting dynamic
It's
that a lot of people don't have to deal with that we
Part of the job.
deal with. And it's not that I never had any bad encounters.
I've had an awkward encounter with an individual that we dealt with
Oh,
several
go ahead.
times on a actual food delivery. And this individual was I'd ordered Papa John's to the office downtown one time, and
Ooh, good
car
selection.
showed up, and a young lady stepped out, and then her boyfriend stepped out. It just happened to be someone we had dealt with on multiple occasions.
They call you by name.
He looked at me several times and kind of nodded as he got back into the car. So,
That's the tough one there. Where
Well, you invited him to the nest, so to speak.
yeah, for sure.
did you actually eat the pizza?
Ooh, I did.
I think you're safe though, because they didn't
I did.
recognize you in
Live to
school.
tell about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
I was like, they didn't make it, and it did have the stickers on it, so I cut the stickers on
Unless
it.
he says, "Hold on, let me run to the car real quick." Yeah, I think you're good.
First name was Timmy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, yeah.
You've been hitting the
For
tube.
sure.
Yeah,
You've been hitting the tube a little bit over there. You got a
I'm
little,
fighting through it.
you got a little
No,
blood
I'm-
dripping down.
Yeah, I'm coming off of
Man, oh,
a big
man.
brain special.
Yeah. If you need to step away for a second, feel free.
No, I'm fighting through it.
Okay, we're going fighting stance here. Sheriff's having a little medical issue at the moment. He's
A hug of sugar.
I have been.
No wonder it came up so
That's it.
early in the episode.
I'm telling on myself here. No, I have been in a restaurant where they said, order for a Leo, and I said,
Oh, that's
brand
not
gone.
good. Nope.
That food was never ingested.
Yeah, if that ever comes out, you gotta run. But sometimes it's too late because
Or if management keeps checking on you to ask how the food was, it can be something to me really nice, or it can be like,
They're getting updates
how
to
fast
see how yeah.
how fast is that colon bomb gonna kick in that we snuck in their Powerade or whatever. I I understand
There's always a chance.
Leos are not
but,
friends of everybody.
But you know, I'm sure we're not the only ones who face that. 'Cause I'm sure there's a few Karens out there that are well known, and they're like, "Oh, that Karen's back. She's about to get the Karen special." I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Somebody that
Gotta be.
loves to complain, but then wants to keep going back to an establishment. I'm sure they get the treatment more than just a random Leo.
For sure, gonna get some of that Fermunda cheese. Some of that old burger, you know.
Yeah, we got a waiting fan here.
Yeah,
we got
for
a Dane
sure.
Cook fan.
That's exactly right.
You're showing your age, Crosberry.
Oh, hey, I'm a man. I just turned 40. So,
Hey.
you know, grown man.
Fellow
Just
man
turned
here in the
40.
room. Maybe
100%.
wait on PackMan and Sheriff to join us one day in manhood.
I'll be taking up the caboose on that one.
Yeah, sure will. Yeah, it's a few months for me. So.
Should I cover my nose with the microphone?
You can literally step away and take care of that if you want to.
Can't do it.
Okay.
YouTube, this is another good YouTube episode. We'll post the link on the gram. You can see
Karma.
Sheriff's nose.
Just zoom in on it.
It's not the first bloody nose that has happened up here in the
That's-
Boom Boom Room. I had a hellacious one day. So I don't know. Maybe it's the.
We're going to have his ring guy thrown in the towel pretty soon. Have to cut him.
I did watch Rocky IV earlier this
There
week.
you go. Crosberry is doing something I think is really cool. I want to make sure we talk about. And you can talk more about it. I'll set it up and you tell us about it. How about that?
Yeah.
He's the coaching a flag football team,
Right.
but not just like your regular backyard field day at the local elementary school.
Yeah, your normal just two-hand touch. Right?
Yeah, what you got? Tell us about it.
Okay, so my son, little Sam Bowes, we'll call him.
There you go.
He was signed up to play in this Under Armour league. Basically, Under Armour came to the area in which I live and wanted to start a flag football league, a 6-on-6 for just younger kids.
So they're the sponsor. Like
They are the sponsor,
Okay.
yeah. Jerseys, everything, the whole 9 yards. My wife approached me and said, "Hey, they're in need of coaches," and I said, "Well, that's awesome. Hopefully, they find somebody."
Be careful.
And
That worked
Careful with
out.
that one.
the wife kind of gave me the wink and said, "Hey, I think you should coach." And I said, "Okay." I've never coached before ever. I had one opportunity to coach my son Little League Baseball a couple of years back, and then the whole COVID thing hit, and they canceled everything. So didn't get that opportunity, but so far it's been going good. We actually, this Friday night, just finished up our 5th game. It's the 5th week. And our current record is 4-1.
right.
So
Yeah,
doing well.
good.
Nice.
Doing
What
well.
position does little Crosberry play?
Well, so he is actually the center. We have center, quarterback, wide receivers, a running back, and he hikes the ball, and they all go out for passes or plays or whatever.
To set
So
this up for everybody, because I'm sure everybody's familiar with basic football. This is how many on how many? Like
it's 6-on-6.
6 on 6.
Yeah, 6 offensive players on 6 defensive players.
But it's got some pretty cool rules, like you can't rush
oh yeah,
quarterback every time.
it's actually
and how many yards is the field?
Yeah,
all
the
that
field's
type of stuff.
50 yards, and on offensive possession you have basically 3 plays to get to midfield, and if not, it's a turnover. And once you get to midfield, you have 4 plays to score a touchdown, I think that's kind of it. There's certain rules you can't rush. If you're 5 yards, like going towards the end zone, you can't rush there.
Like you can't run the ball.
You can't run the ball,
Okay.
or you can't rush either.
Okay.
And you get 1 rush of possession. So that's pretty much it.
So like in backyard, like I don't know about y'all, but like in backyard football when I used to play, like you'd say no blitz and you weren't allowed to blitz. So are they not allowed to like blitz?
Yeah,
to
and
use
so
that term?
if they are going to blitz, they actually have to check that in with the referee to let
Gotcha.
the referee know that they're going to blitz. And
That's
they get one blitz. If
So do you line up like an extra blocker?
Because you know the blitz
As
is
the
coming.
because
right?
you know the blitz is coming, right? So as the coach,
well, no,
are
you
like,
actually don't know the blitz is coming. Like they don't tell us. The defense will check in with the referees
So
and
they-
let them know.
So
that-
So can you fake out
Yeah.
and go whisper "nice game, ref" in his ear, and
There
everybody
you
thinks
go.
you're going to
Some
blitz?
gamesmanship.
yeah, well, a lot of times it's done
I
through the
backfired
coaches.
on the
Yeah,
lines.
that's what I was going to say. It kind of sounds like eligible receiver.
Yeah.
A lineman reporting eligible to, and what I mean by that, because I know you're going to be a good host and ask me to elaborate, is the lineman can actually declare that they can go run a route,
Right.
a pass route, and catch the ball.
Because normally if they're on the line, they can't go past
They have
5
restrictions.
yards. Isn't it 5? Anyway, it doesn't matter. They can't go downfield and get a pass.
Yeah.
So you check in to do the blitz.
Yeah, so
kinda the
yeah,
same
you
thing.
check into the blitz. A lot of times the coach will do that, just kind of let the referee know. But with this age group, I'm actually coaching. There were not enough players. There's supposed to be a fifth and sixth grader, and then seventh and eighth. But they had to combine it, so we've got fifth through eighth graders playing. Which with that dynamic, there's some that's never played on our team, and we've got some really good players. So it's pretty interesting. There's another rule. The quarterback has 4 seconds to actually release the ball, which is kind of unheard of because I think I read somewhere that Patrick Mahomes averages about 4.2 seconds releasing the ball. So it's pretty quick
with all his
for
scrambling. Yeah.
Him and his dad bod.
Can the quarterback run?
The quarterback can run if he's rushed, but cannot run any other time. Only when he's rushed.
Okay.
So those are like interesting. I thought they were really interesting rules because they keep the game going.
Oh, they do.
And then they don't allow. I don't know. To me, it didn't allow like one player to necessarily dominate. I mean, I'm sure there is, but it didn't.
But you couldn't just have Mike Vick as your quarterback and say, "All right, hike on the ball and just go run every time." Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And so we play 2 20-minute halves with a 5-minute halftime, and the entire time it runs, the clock will run unless you got 2 timeouts a half. Which I have forgotten multiple games where I'm trying to call a timeout and I do not have it.
Time management,
well,
coach.
exactly, 100%.
I'm sure you're one of those guys too, like I am, that yell at the TV because you're like, I play Madden all the time. Take a
100%.
timeout.
Yeah, exactly. I do not play Madden, but I will be playing the new college football game that comes out. So,
Oh, of course.
There you go,
for sure. But
Georgia's uniform just got released for what it will be in the game.
Okay.
check it
I
out.
meant to send that to the
Well, hopefully they got variations.
co-hosts.
Yeah. Anyways, all right,
The
we
illustrious
digress.
guest. Are you the head coach, Crosberry?
I am the head coach. My wife is actually the assistant coach, so she does a really good job.
Shout out.
I mean, I've had her out there just trying to get the guys ready, where we'll line up the adult parents for defense just to give our guys a look. She's done that on game night. She's there with her tablet writing down play by play what happens for stats, so we can go over it.
So like in real life, she's the brains of the operation.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
You're just out there taking all the glory.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's like it's
Are
marriage.
you looking at ghosts over there, or do we need to, for the YouTubers?
Oh no, Miss Crosberry's
Miss
here.
Crosberry's over here keeping me in
flesh.
line.
Right,
So-
yeah,
The
off
chaperone is
camera.
here.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's doing stats over there.
I did
at
the
the
That's
front.
it.
Meaning I did the same thing you just did, and I don't. Obviously, everybody knows.
We know she's
I
got
need
one
some
stat
kind of
check,
medicine.
one bloody nose.
Yeah,
That's
the
it.
episode.
Any of these kids, what's the talent level of any of these kids? Can you look at them and just tell, like, yep, that kid's going to be legit at
Okay.
a higher level?
For sure. So we've got, like I said, we've got talent from 5th grade to 8th grade. And we have 2 8th graders that our first 2 weeks were both voted players of the week, the first week and the second week. Super, super talented. Everybody in the league pretty much knows that we can win this thing if we don't beat ourselves, but they're
What
super
positions?
talented. They're both wide receivers, and one of them in particular plays like all-star basketball. I mean, he's just an all-around great athlete.
Does he have an extra tendon?
He does
Sir?
not actually have an extra tendon.
Oh, man.
He's just an all-around good athlete, kind of like old Sleezy over here. So
Thanks for the nod.
I was gonna go Lad McConkey.
Yeah, there you go.
he's definitely a Lad McConkey, but he's a lot taller. So
Gotcha.
he's really good.
Sorry, Lad.
This is the first year of the league here, around here.
Yeah, first year.
In your area, at least?
Yeah, this is the first year for our area. It's the winter league, they consider it. There's actually going to be a spring league, and
right.
I guess they've been fairly impressed because I've been asked to coach again for the spring, and they'd like me to coach 2 teams at the same time, which will be extremely difficult.
That sounds very familiar to me.
So,
To get your agent on the line.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the
This sounds
compensation?
very familiar
Yeah.
to me.
Coaching
This is-
2 teams.
yeah, 2
this is
teams.
Same league.
Same league. It's actually
Sounds like
kind
they
of,
play each other.
Yeah, don't crash and burn like I
no.
did over
Sorry,
here
the
in
same
Little
actual league, but different age groups.
League. I got
Yeah,
that.
same league, but
Yeah,
different
I
age
did
Is that
that.
what you did as well with the
I'll be praying
deputies?
for you. Be praying for you, buddy,
Yeah.
because I crashed out.
That's a lot.
I
mean, coaching
retired
one team is a
myself
lot.
to left field,
Well, the brains
behind the fence.
The brains over there, Miss Berry, has mentioned that we can run the practices together because all the games will be on Friday night. So as long as the scheduling works, we should be okay. But it's a pretty impressive league. Like we have an opportunity. We've been asked if we win the championship tournament that's going to be played on March the 2nd. If we come in as the first place team, we get an automatic trip to the championship game.
Right.
And if we win that, we will actually have an opportunity. We can go play down in Orlando, Florida, like at the regionals.
So where would the championship game?
It will be in our area.
So like championship game for just your league?
For our league, yes.
Okay.
And then if we win that, we had the opportunity to go to Florida for an actual championship. So,
That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, pretty impressive.
Is Under Armour foot in the bill to go to Orlando?
Unfortunately, not at this time. But so we'd have to go to Florida
We'll
for
make a phone call.
the winter leagues. Go to Florida, and then in the spring you actually go up to Maryland. So they do a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, I guess Maryland is their like where they started. That from.
Yeah, 100%.
Maryland.
Okay.
Fun fact, the sheriff here had an opportunity to buy stock in Under Armour
Yep.
when it was just reps going around and giving you the dry fit shirts.
Yeah.
And my $50 stock would have probably been.
Oh, no doubt.
I am so mad at myself because my American Legion baseball coach, shout out to Bob,
Yeah.
he was dating a rep, beautiful young lady. That was
Here we go.
She was
Latina? Latina?
No, she was a blonde-headed bombshell. Coach Bob Cutler, good man, and she was a rep for Under Armour, and so she asked if I wanted to buy it because American Legion baseball would be like high school summer. So I was of sound mind, I guess, or old enough to spend $50, and that would have been
they had a cool strategy
thousands.
because and the only reason I know this because Scott Van Pelt's talked about it many a times because he went to school with the creator of
With the
Under Armour.
Dirty Terps.
Yeah, and the strategy was instead of trying to go head to head with Nike and I guess Reebok, it doesn't matter. Nike at the time.
Adidas.
Yeah,
Adidas.
Instead of going head to head with them, he focused on going after the little leagues and giving them cool gear and all that because he knew they would one day grow up.
Yeah,
And so he established a brand name with them. Had the long game in mind.
Yeah, to your point, Sleaze, Coach Bob was a full-time instructor at Frozen Ropes
Okay.
Baseball Training Center, which obviously this is in New England, so
They have one down here.
why they have indoor facilities down here is puzzling to me at times. I
It's
guess
hot out here.
rain, rain or heat, fair enough, fair
Georgia
enough.
heat.
But it's not, I would say it's not as necessary. There's another double negative, shout out to the South, but he had the opportunity, if he liked the shirt, because I think they started with those dry fit
That's
shirts
it.
that
The
they were now
compression shirts. Yeah, that's the
compression
one.
shirts, thank you, that he could push that out kind of through Frozen Ropes. And there was a Frozen Ropes in Watkinsville.
There was.
And now you get the Yard and some of the other places, similar idea.
Well, PackMan, you also got voluntold
Yes, he's on it.
to be a head skipper this year, right?
Coach by committee. I'm not committing to the
Looks
head.
like Bobby Cox out
Not
there.
committing
man.
to the head coach. Yeah, there was enough kids for this is for Brady's little league baseball team. Brady and Knox are not on the same team. Oh, I'm sorry, Brady and one of the little deputies
No,
are
that's
not
all right.
on the same team.
Knox.
They were on the same team last year. They're similar age,
Sadness.
but yeah, not on
What
the
age
same
are they?
team.
Where would-
9,
Okay.
Yeah,
8,
well-
9, 8 through I don't even know what it goes to. 8 through 10, I think, is the age for this group. But yeah,
This would be minors
there were
for East Athens.
enough kids for 2 teams, not enough coaches for 2 teams. So they're like, hey, anybody want to coach? And we're all
Yeah, Pack looked at me,
looking around.
and I'm not the boss like he is, which is well documented on this show.
So, yeah, I mean, they needed a coach, and I wasn't going.
So what's I'm gonna start with Crosberry, then y'all can fill in. As a coach of underage athletes, we'll call them younger
Yep.
kids.
Got it.
Crosberry he had a really ingenious idea trying to make things easy for them. So, your playbook. You want to tell us about your playbook, and then I want to ask y'all how in depth do you go with
Oh, I'm about to tease them out.
plays
here
and
we go,
signs
here
and all
we
that
go.
type of stuff?
So when I first even was, hey, I'm the coach, I'm like, oh wow, we got to come up with plays. So the best thought I had was, hey, let's use the quarterback wrist for every single player, and we can draw our plays, like color coordinate them.
And that is the thing you wear on your.
Yeah, you can flip it up. See, it's got
it's
like
a playbook
clear...
that people wear. You see them in college football a lot. They wear on their wrist, and you can flip through different pages. I was just letting everybody know what it was.
Yeah, for sure. So I said, hey, I think it cost me like $60. I was like, hey, I'll just spend that just to help with the headache of trying to figure it out. So came up with several, I think like 13 pass plays and then like 4 or 5 run plays, and was able to put them, laminated the cards, put them on the wrist. So then when I got to the practices,
man, oh man, you are making me look bad already. I got my first practice tomorrow night, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
Miss Berry is raising her hand.
We're gonna shout out to Miss Berry for she helped with that, kind of my idea kind of thing, but she did the work exactly. So we basically color coordinated everything and assigned like certain colors to, like, hey, this is your color the entire season. So anytime you're in a huddle, I call the play, and you can look right down at the play and say, okay, I'm orange, so I'm going to run this route, or I'm blue, I'm going to run this route. And kids these days with their phones and everything's got to be it's right in front of them to see visual. I just thought it'd be a great idea. So,
color page.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing, your color, right?
Exactly. So it's helped a lot with the quarterback, just where he knows what he's doing and everybody kind of knows what they're doing. Like I said, unfortunately, there's some folks that have never even caught a football that's on our team. But
do you have a spider-wide banana?
Yeah, well,
shout out to John Gruden.
We do have a secret. We call it the UGA play.
Okay. Don't give away too much of your secrets.
Oh well, we've already used it the other week.
And the competition tuning in and trying to get the secrets.
Is this like a Philly special action?
It's kind of a reverse. One of our older players has a really good arm, so that's basically, he came in motion, got a toss. Our guy without the extra tendon that can run fast ran a long post.
Wait, do any of your players have an extra tendon?
Not a single one.
What kind of football league is this?
Hey, listen.
This is not even a real football league.
Hey, it is the first time it's ever come to this area. So they're still trying to get that word out.
Is this a rural area?
And unfortunately, basketball is being played right now, and baseball starting as well. So
they're not playing baseball.
Not the best time.
Pack's definitely the first black coach probably in Athens history.
I think so.
He's the Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, I'm the Jackie Robinson, East Athens Little League.
You brought the color bear on something else too. What was that? Last week we talked about it.
It was
living in the haunted house.
Oh yeah, down there in the old the yellow door.
I was gonna.
It's the Jackie Robinson of Maxie's.
Yeah, that's right. I thought it was going to be our 5K we ran last week where the dog bit me.
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
We haven't even got that yet. Yeah, I smelled it. I smelled it on him. Said,
Yeah.
Might as well go ahead.
No, let's finish.
Let's finish up this coaching.
Oh, Edith.
So, I thought that was a really good idea, and now that you're coaching your team, you just kind of alluded to it.
Yeah, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Come on, Jackie Robinson.
There's a few kids that I know have never played before. And baseball,
it's a hard.
To be fair, is a lot different than football, and
you're gonna do great.
Excuse me, and they are a lot younger. I think you said yours are up to 8th grade.
Mm-hmm, yeah, 5th grade.
So what, 12 to?
Yeah, probably, I'd say maybe 11-ish.
So our oldest kid that we could possibly have is 10, and usually if the 10-year-old is good enough, they're moving up a league. So we've got kids.
Stephanies up. Yeah, so that might be a stretch.
Well,
I'm throwing a little shade at it. Go ahead, Pat.
No, it's good. But so it's like, I have to just, I think the first couple of practices get in there with like the base. I need to see who can catch. Who can even throw the ball? I know there's some
that first league with live pitching.
Yes,
right,
that's right.
The kids.
So the league before this age group is a pitching machine, and it's a whole lot easier to hit off of the pitching machine because you pretty much know where it's going to be. When you have 8 or 9-year-olds trying to pitch you the ball, it's
terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
The hind catcher position becomes very important.
Very important, and we don't have a catcher.
From an umpire's perspective, even more important.
Yeah, that's right.
Your shins will pay.
It's more
The shack shoes are going to be.
To interject, as I'm an umpire in this league.
You are.
No favoritism. I'll throw PackMan out quicker than anybody. When you're crouching behind home plate and the catcher comes up to your kneecap, like his head does, because he's so tiny, and you're just exposed, and there's some beefed up deputy up there who's probably on PEDs. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he could be
He's
on.
not been tested.
Oh,
Yeah.
Noxie can sling it, boy.
Yeah,
I can
he's
tell
throwing
you.
hard, and there's nothing in between you and that ball above your kneecaps.
Well, I
Got
can
some
tell you
ball-
right now,
ball action
I
there.
don't have a catcher on my team.
Well, luckily Knox
I'm gonna-
isn't on his team.
The one who can, I'm probably just gonna pick the biggest kid and hope he can block the ball a little bit. And
I can scrub out the 1987 on my birth certificate.
To get back.
I don't even think I can get into a crouch anymore. But
Well, I feel much better with
I could
some
cover. I could
girth.
cover more than that.
Yeah, I like to have some girth to cover me.
We wouldn't even see you behind me.
No,
So-
yeah.
yeah, I don't have color coordinated play. There are 2 kids on the team that can fly, so I do know that I don't even have to come up with a steal signal. Their
Go.
instruction is going to be, as soon as that ball, you can't lead off in this league. They're still too young to lead off, but you can steal once the ball makes it to the catcher. So there are 2 kids that as soon as the ball gets to the catcher, their instruction is going to be go. They're just going to steal every time they get on base.
As they should.
And
I hope Coach Kevin is listening to this. The
yeah,
marathon
yeah, that's right.
rival coach.
That is the rival coach, and he is also the one that first introduced us to the marathon that
Yeah,
we
that's correct.
ran earlier. But yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully, I know you'll be out there for some games open. I know you'll be out there.
I just want to defend. I want to defend the girth statement because that is a thing.
Correct.
I want to. Everyone here is a Braves fan. I'm just a bandwagoner from New England.
There's Rome.
Through crew.
That was the, and certainly I do follow the Braves. Maybe a better term than
Yeah.
fan of the Red Sox. Definitely gonna follow any local team, including the Braves. But yeah, that was the big thing. That Javi Lopez was more of an offensive catcher, but that was one of his girth was one of his greatest attributes because he
In
could.
more ways than one, I'm sure.
He was a great receiver.
Oh God!
Here we
come on
go.
now.
Because
Here
he
we
was
go,
a
Shaq.
large man.
All right, moving on.
I'm not even trying to do innuendo.
No, you are.
No, I'm not.
You know what you're saying.
You can go back to the 90s and listen to every commentator, and it's not just Javi Lopez, Joe Mauer, a lot of your bigger guys.
But hang on a second. On that note, do you think, because if we're commentators, we're probably going to throw innuendo. Do you think they say some of those things
Absolutely.
on purpose? I mean, there was a
100%.
clip on Instagram where it was like,
This is not where I wanted
it was
to go.
it was
but
a
let's
quarterback,
go.
and he's like, when you got a big guy like that coming in your face, you got to sling it out there. And
That's
I'm like,
Troy Aikman.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah. I'm like, dude, come on. man.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, he said he's running and he's never seen a hole that big.
Yeah, I mean, come on, they know exactly what they're doing. So to say that commentators were commenting on his big girl,
Okay,
too,
I get what
come
you're
on.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's not just Javi Lopez. I'm saying that most of your larger catchers, to Lee's point, are going to be the umpires are going to have a lot of respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Salvador Perez is probably your best example. That dude's like 6'6", almost
massive.
300
Well,
pounds.
I will tell you from being behind the plate in my illustrious one-season career that I've had so far, if a catcher can catch, and you don't have to worry about it bouncing off your throat or face mask because you can't lift their glove high enough to catch it, you're gonna give them a little bit on the outside corner.
bouncing off your throat.
Well,
Sorry, Pat. This episode is done because Pat has
here we
put
go.
me in that frame of mind, which I'm already there anyway. There were games. I am a large person. Okay, I don't really know how big I am, kind of like a Great Dane, but everyone
Great
tells
Dane.
me I am a large person. There are games where I absolutely got murdered with foul tips, balls in the dirt, whatever. And the umpire never got hit. So that's all I'm saying.
respect right there.
Minus the
Yeah.
sexual innuendos, it is a thing.
Well, and in our league, the majority of runs are scored on pass balls.
Because there's
Yes.
a lot of walks.
A lot of walks. A lot of
yeah.
walks. Your kids are getting on base.
Yeah.
There's pass ball. They steal. Pass ball. They steal. Pass ball. They steal home.
That's it.
So if
And
your
there you
catcher
go.
can't catch, it's 4 pitches
Yep.
or 3 pitches, and they're home.
Yep.
Score.
There
That's
is a
exactly right.
5-run limit per inning, but
Thankfully.
Because of that, yeah.
if you're going to hit that 5-run limit pretty
That's right.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
speaking of Great Danes, this will perfect segue into our dog conversation.
Oh.
Crosberry, it's a Great Dane, right?
Yeah, I have 2 Great Danes.
Yeah. Did y'all just like, we're gonna get a dog? Let's go all out.
Okay, so
Because I've seen your dog. I think I could ride it.
oh yeah, Lily and Riley. Shout out Great Danes again. So
Sheriff, think your nose is like
yeah. Take your bloody nose elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is why you have me
Here
here.
we go.
Anyways, go ahead,
Pack
Crosberry.
too.
So the story behind the Great Danes is that my wife, that is her dog that she's always wanted for forever. So I did some research, actually met with a lady, she owns a breeding company called Knights Danes in Mansfield, Georgia. Excellent lady. And so we went down to meet the dog that we were going to choose. What's going on now?
She's just an excellent lady. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she's an excellent lady.
Out there just petting dogs.
100%. Very expensive
Okay, so
dogs.
who's pushing the innuendo now? It's made its way down now.
All right.
At
We're
least
off the rails
at least
here.
the guest is trying to be serious.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. So it was the wife's favorite dog. So we ended up picking out a Great Dane, Lily, who's now 3 years old. She wanted her, picked her out, but it was during the COVID deal. So a lot of times I was home a lot more than normal, and the dog just pretty much took up with me, and she absolutely loves me. So a year later, they had another chance to get a Dane, and we went there, and finally she got Riley, our boy Dane. And
Round 2, and she didn't let that dog around you, huh?
not at all, but he's a great dog. He likes everybody. So.
They're just so freaking big. Like, I don't understand how you, like, do they each have their own recliner?
Yeah, well, funny thing with that is Lily's probably about 150 pounds,
Good
and she every night she sits in my recliner with me until my legs basically go numb, and then it's like, hey, you got to go. So
Is she a Harlequin, the female?
she is a blue merle.
Blue Merle, that's
Yeah.
right.
They're
Which
really
is very
cool.
rare.
So we had a dog track by our house growing up. Are Great Danes what they use?
Oh, like a racing dog?
like a racing?
No, those are
No, they're not.
What
You're,
are those?
Greyhound.
What are
You're
they?
thinking of Greyhounds, yeah.
Greyhounds.
Doberman.
Yeah, did you and
just a
Papa
guy-
Milwaukee go put a few dollars
Yeah.
down?
Sure would.
Sure would.
Go to the dog track.
Yeah, I bet Pack was smoking cigs and putting the money down.
Do those even exist anymore anywhere? Anybody
They
know?
do. I've seen
A
one.
dog track.
There's
Where?
one in Orlando. I
Really?
actually lived down there a couple of years back, and
That was,
yeah.
That's a fun thing to. I mean, I was little, and I was just watching the grown-ups looking like they were having a good time.
And chase the rabbit.
Yeah,
Chase the
actually,
rabbit.
there's a rabbit out there, and they chase
I'm
the
picking on
rabbit.
Pack, but there was a dog track very close to
Boss.
where
He said chase the rabbit.
Yeah.
I said,
in New England there was a dog track close to where I grew up. So I bet I have been inside. They did the greyhound racing and I can't think of the term, the harness horses. So the thoroughbreds, but you're attached in a little cart behind them.
The dog?
Negative.
Oh,
They
horse
used the
racing.
track for both.
Okay,
Excuse
that was a dog.
Sorry, I can't remember harness horse
I thought they were
racing.
like little people behind the dogs. Just
Yep.
Here we go. Shout out little
Little
people. Shout out.
Hey, I think you just come up with a new sport.
yeah. I think I had to disconnect in the conversation there.
I did not explain it well, which is one of my fatal flaws, but they used the same track
Okay, I
for
understand.
chasing the rabbit and then harness horses, which my grandfather used
And-
to own.
In full
Thoroughbreds.
disclosure, for some reason I started thinking about Michael Vick during this conversation.
Oh, here we go. Wow.
Well, Pack did bring him up for the flag football.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
that's where I
come
lost
on,
train of thought.
Come on, man.
Anyway,
I could have used Michael Vick last Sunday.
yeah.
No. So, yeah, you could have had a defender.
So
on your side.
a week ago, shout out to the sheriff.
Bad time, but
first 5K of 2024. Got out there and did it.
I got 14 minutes to catch the two of y'all, and it's
That's
coming.
all right. We had a good
That's
time,
nice.
but
Yeah, it was fun.
but really a shout out to the deputies and Brady,
Yeah.
the little packet. 'Cause,
Pretty Packette.
they ran the mile fun run, and man, impressive. They came in second, third, and fourth with Brady, followed by Knox and Landon, or excuse me, vice versa, Landon
You
and
got it
Knox.
right. I didn't even recognize my own firstborn because his face was so red. But that's
They did it though, and so
the Turners are going to turn red when running's involved.
yeah. So Brady he crushed his time that y'all practiced with by a minute and a half almost. Right?
Yeah, so we went on a couple runs.
He looked good, man.
We went on a couple runs, and we were running at like a 9 minute, 10-second pace. And I was impressed with that. I'm like, oh, Brady, just remember, you got to run at a slower pace. It's not Brady's fast, but he's a sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he will fly for a short distance. So I had concerns that he was going to come out for this mile run and just fly. So right before the race, I'm like, Brady, remember, you don't have to, because I know how all the other kids are. Most kids, when they're running a race, they come out the gate, and they're just like hauling.
Flying.
And then, 40 yards down, they're exhausted. So I'm like, Brady, remember, don't do that. So what do? They start, Brady's gone. I'm like, I told him not to. He's going to die. 7 minutes and some change later, we see some kids running around the corner, and I'm like, is that Brady? I'm like, no, that's not Brady. In the lead.
Yeah,
yep.
he was in the lead.
And then they're like, that is Brady. And there was
flying.
Yeah, he was moving. And there was a girl right up there with him. Yeah, long legs. And she got him in a sprint at the end. She caught up to him, so he started running harder. She started running harder, and they were in an all-out sprint towards the finish line, and he gassed out, and she got him. She did awesome. But Brady did really well. I was really proud of him.
Yeah,
So,
she should be.
I saw the Instagram post.
Yeah,
I heard the cheering. It was pretty impressive.
In your fatherly celebration.
Man, I was so excited. So I run over there to the finish line to congratulate him. I'm like,
oh, this is the best part.
I'm running over there, and next thing I know, I feel teeth and saliva sinking into my left knee, and I yelled an expletive. I'm sorry to all the parents and all the kids.
Yeah.
Explicative.
Expletive.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever. A bad word. I yelled a bad word.
He did have his Aquaman suit on.
Yeah,
Big Brain told him.
This dog, I don't know. I can only refer to it as a KKK line. I was one of two dudes that looked different out there, and this dog singled me out.
Just trying to take your tendon. Just trying to bite the extra tendon.
I may have an eye for these type things, and I did see that this dog had no business being in a crowd of people.
Well, left everybody else alone.
There was some, yeah. Well, I didn't.
Singled him out.
I have the normal amount of tendons, and I avoided this dog at all costs.
Yeah,
to be fair.
So in his glee, he probably wasn't looking.
I wasn't looking. I didn't even notice the dog there until it sunk its teeth into my leg.
Well, to be fair, you were moving towards it, and sometimes if I don't know you're coming towards me, I do clutch my wallet for a
Yeah,
second.
I was just gonna say, this dog did the equivalent of clutching the purse and going to the opposite side of the street. But the only way a dog can do that is to bite you.
Yeah.
So I got bit in the leg right after I was so happy for my son. I'm going to congratulate him and hug him.
Your fault.
And and the dog bit me right in my leg, which affected my 5K time, probably.
Probably did.
Well, you beat us. You beat both of us. You beat me by almost 15 minutes.
I did not beat the time that I wanted to beat.
Oh, I got you. You were racing the clock.
I was racing the clock, racing myself.
That was so good.
We had
and you did not think you had a mark.
I did not.
Upon further
the next day. So, I was wearing running tights, which they were making fun of, calling me all kind of Aquaman.
What does Millie call those? Your running tights?
She calls my running tights underwear pants.
Shout out, Millie.
Yeah, and I'm like, Millie, that's a good one. Don't tell that to my friends. But of course it came out.
Now it's here.
So I was wearing my underwear pants, and I didn't see any holes in my underwear pants, but I saw lots of saliva right there where I got bit.
Witnessed the saliva.
So I'm like, okay, must not have punctured me. It left a mark. Anyway, I got home later today, took my underwear pants off, and lo and behold, there were two
memories.
two memories right there on my leg.
Clutching of the wallet.
Yep. So yeah. but you know.
I'm not trying to exonerate this vicious and aggressive dog, but this dog was so scared that when this event was planned by some of our elder states, men and women in the county. An older crowd was the planners, and they did a fabulous job, by the way. But when the older lady was on the PA announcing the kids, the dog's ears were laid back, and this dog.
So you knew it was a recipe.
Wanted to dig. I avoided.
So you called Pack over and said, "Hey, come here, Pack."
That's what I said. Set him up.
You know what?
Why don't you run in front of that dog's mouth?
Exactly, right there.
And you know what? That dog, I had learned after they were leaving, that dog belonged to the girl that beat Brady in the race. So we were just taking L's. Taking L's.
No, I think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Set up.
Yeah,
you sure the dog didn't bite Brady too?
Yeah, it may have. I don't know, but he got me good.
We had a good time. The kids did awesome, and we finished. So there we go.
That's
Very
it.
nice.
Well, let's get into some questions.
Okay, before the questions, I gotta give one shout out to my lovely bride.
Hey.
Okay. We're going to be celebrating this Tuesday on the 20th, 18 years of marriage.
Oh,
man.
So
He'd be the leader.
He's the leader,
18
yeah.
years
He
of
would've been
marriage.
the leader on the
18
VD.
years, 2 kids, and still going strong. So.
How about that? Hey, let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Crosberries. Congratulations.
My
What
wife
do you,
yells at me for 20 straight episodes. His wife shows up for the first one.
There you go. What? Any plans, or is it a surprise?
We've got some plans.
Hey,
Enough said, enough
whoa,
said.
hey.
Well, we got concert tickets, but they're for later in the year, so we're gonna take a trip, and
Nice.
so yeah, for
Well,
sure.
good deal. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
He might do a repeat of what you just said.
Anyways.
The kids did great, and we finished.
Anyways, all right.
Go on. You missed a perfect chance there, Crosberry.
CNN coming in
CNN.
strong. I think he took my elaborate question comment to heart, because this is the shortest question we've ever had.
Okay.
Pepsi or Coke?
Ooh. See, that's not.
And he said products. I don't know if he means the whole line or just strictly
So
Pepsi
if it's
or Coke.
products, I gotta based solely on Mountain Dew. I have to go Pepsi
Okay.
because while I would rather probably drink a Coke over a Pepsi, I think Mountain Dew trumps them all. You know what I mean? So
you and the traffic supervisor would be great.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So
BFFs.
based solely on Mountain Dew, I'm going Pepsi.
You're not going to be able to get a word in edgewise, but he does like to do the do.
That's right.
In the same bottle from
2014.
1904. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't let that go now. There's a certain person who sources have.
I'm trying to use code names here.
It doesn't matter who they are. Sources say that this man drinks out of a bottle. They noticed the expiration date was 2014.
Yeah, it's a 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottle.
And they asked that individual, where did you find a Mountain Dew this old? And he said, like they were idiots, I'd refill it every day at the house, which led to a more astonishment that he kept the same bottle since 2014.
I have not seen the expiration on said bottle, but from his lips to my ears, that is the refiller.
That's
I
right.
have witnessed the bottle.
That
so
is
it
impressive.
story.
It's been that long.
10 years, yeah.
10
10 years of the same.
It's a lot of dew.
Just think of all the what is the cancerous stuff and that stuff that he's
Carcinogens.
that he's drank out of that bottle. I think it's
That's
a fine
right.
bottle to drink out of by now. He's drank all the cancer out
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
right.
So, anyways, Crosberry, Pepsi or Coke?
If I've got to pick one, it's probably Coke, but I am a Dr. Pepper man.
Who makes that? Is it that?
Well,
standalone?
Dr. Pepper makes it, and it's I guess distributed by Pepsi.
Okay.
So.
Now
I didn't know that.
I'm interested to hear your answer, being a Yankee. Go ahead.
Yeah, I used to have a paper route, and my last delivery on said paper route was at the Elks Lodge, and they would pour me a nice tall glass of Pepsi
There you go.
from the fountain.
Okay.
So I like Coke, but the Pepsi has that added nostalgia to it
There you
of
go.
like, hey, this is when you had your first job. This is what you had at the end of a long, arduous day.
Well, the reason I was asking you that in that manner was from my traveling experience. Once you get above a certain line.
The
and
Mason-Dixon line?
if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Once you get above that line, it's Pepsi pretty much exclusively, and then when you go below that line, it's harder to find Pepsi in like especially restaurants and.
Unless so there are some, I've noticed some
Midwestern
chain
here.
restaurants down here that originated,
Sure.
you know, up
Sure.
north or in other parts of the country, and they are they're Pepsi restaurants.
Yeah, Bojangles is the only one I could think of that's straight Pepsi. That is a southern. I don't know if they're
but
from the
they're
south.
from North
but
Carolina, so I don't know. But that North
Still
Carolina is a
south.
Pepsi area I've noticed as well. Anyways,
It originated there.
I grew up down here, so Coke is my answer because that's what I grew up on, and that's what I'd rather have. Pepsi has like a sweeter.
Correct.
And they did these taste tests back in famous commercials back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Good
Taste tests.
commercials.
Everybody chose Pepsi in the small amount because it's sweeter, but if you drink more of it, the taste test was reversed.
So Milwaukee, this true story. Milwaukee
True
Papa
story.
said Milwaukee Papa is from the South. He's from Belzoni, Mississippi. Yeah,
the
small
deep
town
South.
in Mississippi. Yeah, deep South.
Deep
Might
South.
sound like me.
They would not let black people drink Coca-Cola because of the
Cocaine.
the cocaine in it, and they thought it was going, make them nut up. So,
Pause.
Can't have a bunch
this
of-
is a true story though. This is what I've heard. Well, it's a true
Exact
story that I've
verbiage.
heard from my
Make them nut
grandfather.
up.
Yeah.
Is that a direct quote?
I
Can't have
added
much
added my own little flair to the story.
He's like the Black Chef Emerald right here.
Can't have a bunch of coked up black people running
Yeah,
around. Shout out Gresham Street.
Man, we're gone. We're off the rails. We've
But,
crashed East Palestine. Here we go.
Yeah, so there's that.
Okay.
I just figured it was
I
an
don't
appropriate
believe
time.
So are we safe to
You don't,
say?
wait, you don't believe that?
I don't believe it at all.
So is it safe to say it's what
I
you
Wait, you
believe?
don't believe that it was made with cocaine?
The rationale, I agree with all of that. Agree is not the right word. All of that makes sense except the nutting up part. I think that was just a stupid reason.
You just think they didn't want to let black people have
Exactly.
anything.
Well,
Yeah, I
obviously,
get that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right.
So I think it's safe to say whatever you grew up on probably is what you lean towards.
I really like.
For the most part, like I'd rather
then
drink
your
a Diet
product,
Coke
yeah.
than a Diet Pepsi, but I'd rather drink a Mountain Dew than any of it.
I got
So,
you.
Yeah, I think that's
I
a
got
good point by Pack. Sprite is probably my favorite soda, Coke
Yeah.
product,
right.
but
I got you.
if we're doing Pepsi and Coke, it's Pepsi.
Okay.
A good question.
Very good
Great.
question.
Question.
Look at all the
CNN.
debate.
Man, we went all the way back to
Belzoni,
a
Mississippi
time where-
in the 1940s.
you took your life into your own hands
That's
drinking
right.
a soda.
That's right.
All right. The special agent sent in. I don't know what I did to her, but she's in a fighting mood. We'll just
Oh,
say
here
that
we
much.
go.
Probably
Yes.
just woke up.
Who's going to win that fight?
Yeah. She wanted to know if you got into a bar fight, what song would you want playing in the background? I guess like as your soundtrack or like maybe, I don't know, maybe motivational in the background. I don't know. Any thoughts?
Ooh. Go ahead, Pat. I got to think about this. Well, I've already thought about it, but I
I
need
thought
to
about
rethink
it too, but I need to rethink about it. Crosberry, why don't you go?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say anything
Hands down.
DMX, Rough Rider
Oh,
soundtrack.
R.I.P.
man.
R.I.P.
There you go.
Spartanburg
I think-
County,
I
South
think-
Carolina.
DMX has got a song that says X gonna give it to me or you or something. That's
there
pretty
you go.
pretty. What's the word? Crunk. They used to use that word back in the day. Crunk.
Yeah,
That
you
is the
can run
Rough
off.
Riders anthem.
I think it kind of depends on like
Yeah, well, he's
what
super
type of
crunk
bar
over
you're
there.
at. You know, might be a little different if you're at like a Western establishment.
Like at a
or something.
honky tonk?
Yeah, then you might have some kind of something different. You never know, but.
Yeah, I was trying to think back to all the great like movies, you know, what was playing in the background, and I don't know, I really couldn't come up with like what was playing in the background. But yeah, it'd have to be something.
You having a lot of, like a walking tall moment over there?
I was
Old
thinking,
Roadhouse?
Yeah, I thought about Roadhouse
Roadhouse?
because there's a lot of fights in bars in that movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog has a good bar fight.
Oh, here we go.
Shout out to the deputies.
There you go. So I think that's a great answer. Really.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a great
I was
answer.
thinking that, or
Love DMX.
Brantley Gilbert's got a
Yes.
song called "Take It Outside,"
Take it outside.
and that's
My
probably
favorite.
shout out to a local guy. So I'd say Brantley Gilbert's.
Is he still a local guy or is he?
He's still
Worldwide.
local, I believe. Yeah,
Hey, you gotta start.
No, I know he
somewhere.
lives in Maysville.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say the actual road address, but
yeah.
I've been there.
Okay,
Mhm.
tight.
With the family.
Okay.
Was tight with the family.
Yeah.
I have a bad, outside of the show, Big Brain has accused me of having a lot of one-way friendships, where I'm investing in friendships and they're not. I'm not saying that's the case here with Did You
That's the
Hear Me?
definition of a stalker.
Yes, I start.
No, officer, it's just a one-way friendship.
That's right.
Yes, I was a peeping Tom at the Gilbert residence. Let's get that rumor started.
Officer, I'm telling you, they invited me over. I'm telling you.
One-way friendship.
It's as simple as I played slow pitch softball with his younger brother, who is a
One more
fabulous
question,
player. Yeah, before I get charged with a sex
Yeah, we're
crime.
not asking you about the binoculars in your car.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Big deal.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Come on, Sleezy.
I had some time to think about this, and I really couldn't come up with anything. But
Wow.
I'm glad Crosberry saved.
Yeah, he
saved
did.
the answer.
Saved the segment.
Yeah.
Michael
So-
Jackson just beat it.
Yeah,
Pause.
yeah, Burning Heart. I'm
Actually,
trying to
that's not
think
bad.
who sings it.
Nah.
But
Look out.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
But in conjunction with that question, she wanted to know, the special agent did, if you could fight and win a fight against a fictional character. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you would want to fight and beat up, so to speak?
Oh,
I immediately said Ross from Friends. That is the most annoying character to me.
Pivot.
So
Pivot.
Oh, we got a huge.
Ross from Friends, I'm coming at
Is
you.
he still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh, he was in the
David, what's
Uber
his
Eats
last name?
commercial. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his character, not David Schwimmer. Got nothing against the Jews.
You mad because he was dating Rachel?
No, he's just annoying. He's an annoying character.
He is an annoying character.
He's an annoying character. The special agent said, sorry to interrupt you. Special agent, for all you ladies out there, said Regina George is getting slapped.
What was
Regina
that?
George.
Mean Girls, is that correct? Mean Girls, is
She's
one of
the
her,
main character.
the arch rival, I think, or
We passed
the
that.
main villain. if you
Stat
will.
guy's looking it up.
But yeah, that's the one that.
Oh, okay,
I got
yeah, I see. I know.
Yeah.
The Rachel
Yeah.
McAdams.
Yeah, the
character.
blonde
Yeah,
chick.
there you
Yeah.
go.
A tenderoni, if you will. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah.
I got.
Well,
I got a song.
I didn't know. Can we beat up girls? Of course.
Whoa, whoa.
No, I
we
won't do
go.
that. I don't think my guy's even fictional.
Okay.
I just would beat up Pete Carroll.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
It would just be.
Would you beat him up at Nikolai's Road?
And right there on the top floor of the W or the Hilton or whatever.
Throw him
it
out a
was.
window.
Hyatt.
The Hyatt, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Bad
Let me
blood.
double check that.
That's it.
Just trying to steal the girl. Old girl stealer.
Well, sorry, Pete. Got a lot of time on your hands. I'd be looking over your
Yeah,
shoulder.
let's see. Better watch out.
Crosberry, got anybody that comes to mind?
Ooh. I have no time to think about this at all.
Yeah, that one came in kind of last minute.
I'll
so-
give you a minute, Crosberry.
Give me a
My
minute.
song would be anything by Survivor, which is a group that I didn't even grow up with, so an 80s group, but they do a lot of the Rocky songs.
Okay,
So I'm staying with that. They have Eye of the Tiger,
Oh, yeah.
Burning
Gotcha.
Heart.
gotcha.
Obviously, that's probably not for bar fighting. That's for boxing, but
Yeah,
similar idea.
works.
Just no gloves.
it works.
But Nikolai's Roof's in the Hilton. What was the other? Oh, fictional character.
Yeah, that you would beat up.
Ooh, fictional character. I might like to do a other guys and beat up like a Yankee player in reality.
Oh, okay. You're
okay.
referencing when they shot.
Like shot Derek Jeter or
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera used to drive me insane. I know he's a good Christian man, but it was like this dude is throwing one pitch,
Yep.
and he's throwing it in the same spot. It's either inside to a left-handed hitter or away to a righty, and no one can hit it.
Right.
And
And so therefore, I wanted to. He didn't do what?
He didn't sign. We talked about it. On the show. He didn't
that's
sign my
right.
autograph. Another reason.
We
Beat
need
him
to-
up.
Oh, he's getting
Beat him
it.
up on my
He's
behalf.
getting
They
it.
got to beat his ass.
Yeah,
I might have to
while
bounce.
I'm wearing Pete Carroll out, you can.
Wasn't there?
Balls.
Wasn't there a character in Mike Tyson's Punch Out that would bounce people with their bellies?
Oh,
I know you had to punch
Ooh.
one of them in the belly button, and he had like a
can't answer that. I
cut
don't
there.
know.
But maybe that's what I'll do. I'll bounce him around with my belly.
So y'all are going after sports.
Real people.
I've got a
Real
sports
people.
one too then.
All right, let's throw the fictional out. Let's go
Okay.
after real people.
Just
Where you
say-
going?
Okay,
Go ahead,
so
Crosberry.
I'm going after whoever the umpire is that called the infield fly rule on the
Ooh.
Braves Cardinals game
Ooh, I need
a
to
couple
look
of
that
years
up.
back.
That's-
Find out who that is and give
Is it
me an
not
address.
Angel Hernandez?
I thought it
knew
was-
you were going to say
Angel Hernandez.
I
That's a
think
good one too.
Jim
probably.
Joyce was the one, but I think
That's
he was
the-
for the perfect
Oh,
game.
that's the perfect game for the Tigers.
For the
So-
Tigers.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
check with the stat guy.
This game Crosberry is referring to is what, 2013, 14?
I'm
It doesn't
gonna tell
matter.
you.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometime back, the Braves were in the playoff. They were in a playoff game against the Cardinals, and they were behind. And there was a fly ball to the outfield by everybody else's.
I mean, it was at the warning track.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that the-
it wasn't there.
So the infield fly rule is somebody on first and second, less than 2 outs. If there's a pop up in the infield, it's an automatic out, so that you can't just drop the ball and then get 2 force
a double
outs.
play, right.
Yeah, so they call it infield fly. It's an automatic out. Doesn't matter if the guy catches it or not. This one was in the outfield, way behind shortstop and third base,
Yeah.
and they went ahead and called infield fly, and it dropped, and they, called it out on it, which ruined the rally, and Braves fans, finally showed some fire. They threw a bunch of trash on the field. I don't know if that's the right fire you want to show, but they threw a bunch of trash on the field. Very controversial.
Sam Holbrook was
Oh,
the
yeah.
umpire.
So
So watch
Crosberry's
out.
going
So
after
watch
him.
out.
And the game was 10-5 of 2012.
2012, yeah.
But it was like a bomb.
Yeah.
I've never, to Crosberry's point, I've seen an infield fly call that is off the dirt,
Mm-hmm.
but is still in close proximity. Yeah, this was in like
This was in left field.
shallow left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Hey,
You don't worry
That
about
was bad.
Do you call infield fly rule in our age
Yes.
group? Is that a thing
Yes.
in our age? Oh, okay.
He's gonna make a call.
But
just
no
like that
one
this year.
knows.
Yeah,
That's such bull crap though, because no one knows like you as an umpire know the rule.
Yeah.
To me, that would be almost like the eligible receiver, the whole Cowboys Lions fiasco
Yeah.
from Thanksgiving time, or I think that was Christmas time actually,
I mean,
where the umpire knows the rule, but really no one else does, or maybe the coach,
correct.
because the ball is dead. But then the end of your announcement, go
Yeah.
ahead.
And there's some baseball rules that don't translate well over to the little kids.
right.
And then there's some rules that they have that don't translate to the regular game. Like
There you go.
there's a particular rule in y'all's league where the runner cannot bait the catcher to throw the ball. So that meaning
Oh, I didn't know that.
if you're on second base and the ball hits the catcher's mitt and you're not stealing, and then the catcher gets up to throw the ball and then you take off the base a little ways to try to get the catcher in a rundown, that's a dead ball because
Is the runner out, or do you just send him back to
you
second?
send them back with, I don't even know because it's such a
Send
obscure
them back
rule.
with
You just
reproach.
you address it. I don't know if there's any penalty if you
Throw
keep
him
doing
out
it.
of the game.
I assume you would call them
Oh
out.
man, we'd be
But the whole purpose of
we'd be
that,
coming
yeah.
to blows. Pause.
the whole purpose of that rule is to, if you're going to steal, but don't try to get the catcher because
I got you.
they can't throw and catch
right.
in that age group.
No.
So
You have to either go,
Yeah.
commit, or go back
correct
to the
instead
game.
of trying to get and run down.
My point being, the umpires are obligated to make the call given certain situations. I'm not going to get into that because everybody's head's already spinning.
Right.
Where the ball is dead, but the runners advance at their own risk.
Right.
And I don't think anybody has a clue what the hell you're even
Correct.
saying.
Well, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of
So it was a question I should have saved for off air. Sorry.
No, it's all
let's
good.
move
No, I
on.
like this question.
Big Brain threw a question in while they were waiting 30 minutes for their drink in the line.
She was headed north.
Okay. Well, anyways,
I said it in
she wanted to know if your vehicle ran off the road at a bridge and you fell into the water, how long would you have to exit the vehicle, and what are your survival thoughts?
0% chance of survival for me.
Is that just because there's water involved?
That's the tendons do a lot of things well, but they don't swim.
They sure do. I don't know. I swim like a rock, so.
I think it depends on. There's so many variables here. Are you falling off the bridge where you're going to have impact? Are you driving in where you're slowly sinking?
So you can't open the door because I do know that
Yeah.
all the pressure from the water,
Yes.
you're going to have to bust the window out,
Yes.
and then that, of course, is going to
And-
make water.
Yeah. To your point, there's going to be an air pocket inside of your
Yep.
vehicle for a while
Yep.
if you don't roll the window down or don't
Yeah.
have it down. So you're going to have time. So a lot of it has to do with the impact into the water.
Yeah.
as we scientifically dissect this question.
That's
This is what Big Brain wanted. She's
Yeah.
gonna buy a window punch from some tactical store, even though I
Well,
have
she should
several of
buy
them.
a window punch either way because I think there's several applications for a window punch.
Well, this is how much Big Brain pays attention.
Yeah, and a seatbelt.
I
punch.
have multiple window punches, but she is
She
not
needs a
paying
pink one?
attention to her surroundings. Yes, she
Yeah.
probably wants something so she can support the power. Let's just say that.
Correct. So
The power of women.
a lot of variables. I think you have time if you're not knocked out upon entry into the water.
Yeah, if you just roll into there. But if you're falling off a bridge for like the freaking Golden Gate, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're dead.
Yeah, you're right.
She was more talking locally. The eldest deputy asked her what she would do. Why he even asked her this, I'll never know.
Is
But
it
if we
because
were
he
to
rides
run
with
off
her?
this bridge,
Is it any nod to her driving?
she's terrible at driving. Which is why this might actually happen with her. And she drives a car that's 20 sizes too big
Right.
for her driving prowess. I'm not just saying that because she's a female. I'm saying that because it's Big Brain.
Gotcha.
I don't want to get canceled by the feminists, but yeah, the eldest deputy is really the origins of this question. She was asking if there was a specific amount of time you had. I feel like this is a it depends type question, which is what y'all
It
get
does.
to.
I will say you're going to have time around here because I don't think there's a bridge tall enough over water
Right.
that you're
Maybe
going to.
the Charleston one.
I'm talking about in our local
Yes.
area. Yeah. So you're going to be in water. It's going to be a river. It's going to be moving.
I'm seconding
So you
your
got
point.
time. But
Get it?
just a PSA, I think a seatbelt cutter is a good thing to have nearby because,
I'm gonna find her a pink one that's got both.
yeah.
There you go.
Because
I'm
there's
sure
a lot
it
of things
exists.
you can do, but if you can't get your seatbelt off, then you're
Doesn't matter.
Shout out to Uniforms
dead in the
Unlimited.
water, so to speak. Hey.
Dead in the water.
Yeah.
That's
So,
probably where that expression came from.
Might be. You got any?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think you have time as long as the vehicle's secure. You know, the windows are up, and it's not some kind of major impact that's gonna like knock you out. I think a lot of times with certain situations like that, if you start freaking out, of course you're gonna start breathing a lot more, waste your breath, energy, or whatever. It may just depend on like what river, pond, kind of where you're at. Because I know a lot of times I've read things where people go underwater and then the vehicle shifts and then you're trying to get out and it ends up falling on you. So
good point. I didn't think about that.
I mean, it's kind of more of if water's rushing in, you got a little time, just be patient. See if the vehicle actually settles at the bottom if it's not extremely deep, and then try to break the window and swim out, you know, as fast as you can upwards. But that's probably the best.
Yeah,
thought I
that
could
would
think,
be
so.
that would be
I could see him thinking over there.
deflating to have the car fall on top of you.
Come on.
Get out of the
Oh my God, I'd be crushed if that happened.
Zing.
Man,
Oh, that was
we need to hit the road on that one.
That's
Totally crushed.
All right, we got one more question. Well, 1.5 more questions. This one's from the cruise missile.
oh,
Where'd you go?
I can't even do it.
I love the cruise missile, and I know where she's coming from.
Come on, Cruz.
Thanks for sending another landmine.
Oh,
Here
boy.
we go.
So she says, this is news to me. I didn't know this was a thing this year. There's a whole movement of Constitution-following Americans who are refusing to pay their taxes this year due to their disagreement of how things are going in the current administration. Not necessarily the president, but how things are being used for funding. Will anybody be joining them, and you think it's worth it? Let me tell you what. I'm going to tell you one thing. No matter what you think and what side of the fence you're on, the federal government and taxes is something you don't mess with. Because they will throw you under the jail for not paying your taxes.
That's it. That's
You
what
owe them
John Gotti.
$1.25.
Yeah.
I mean,
You could be the head of a criminal organization that's responsible for all kind of murders. They will, you know, if they can prove it or not, but they can follow the money and they will throw you under the prison.
That's exactly right.
That's my thoughts on
Just
that.
to double or triple down on it, because we're getting canceled.
20 episodes in, man. We
We're
made
gonna
it.
be,
Well,
yeah,
Derek-
we're
yeah.
drinking age next week, episode
That's
21.
right.
I ain't gonna very legal. Derek Chauvin is under fire for some financial crimes as well. So that goes back to your point
Correct.
that whether you've done something heinous or not, they're gonna double or triple down, or that might be the way they get you.
Well, yeah, and just in general, even if you're not doing anything else wrong, like I said, money is something that they don't play with because of all kind of reasons. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. If you don't pay your money,
Yeah.
they're coming for you. And for it to actually matter, you can't have like a small group doing it because then you're just a small group going to prison. You have to have like
You
the
go together.
Yeah.
whole country not doing it.
Yeah. And
Which is never going to happen
It's
because
not
50% is always going to be on the other side.
right.
Dump the
And
tea is
I'll leave you with an actual thought. If things were 4 years ago and this movement was going on the other side of the aisle, would you agree with it? That's what I would ask.
ooh, good point.
Because there's always going to be 50-50 in this country at this point.
The tribalism is
And
what
so
you're
if
going.
the other 50%, whatever side you're on, doesn't matter if you're right or left.
Right.
If the other side didn't want to pay their taxes, you would have the same thoughts about
You'd hate
them
Yep. That's right.
because you still got to support your country.
Yep.
No matter what you think about
All right, nothing. Again, probably the individual on the panel that has most communication with the cruise missile.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of her as a person.
That's right.
Let me do my little Oreo technique with a positive, negative, and a positive, like they do at the schools. But
Is that a thing?
the Constitution doesn't say anything about not paying your taxes. So if we're really wanting to be constitutional folks, which this country's far gone from that, you still got to support the government.
There you go. Or you're going to be in jail.
The government wrote the Constitution, correct? I know I'm keeping it super simple, but
I mean, it's a
or are we
complex.
saying we the people are not going to pay our taxes? Is that how that
All right,
document
how about we
starts?
simplify this? Are you going to pay your taxes?
I don't have a problem with
All
it.
right, I think we ended on that then. You're going to pay your taxes because there's a lot of ways to go with it.
But I don't. The fact that she started the question with, there's a group
Yeah.
of people that are constitutional Americans that are not paying it. You might as well just say, I'm an American, I'm pissed off, I'm not paying my taxes.
That's right.
What I'm saying is leave the Constitution out of it.
Okay.
Because a lot of these issues are because we're not following the Constitution.
Okay.
You can see where I'm going with it?
Well, I think that's what she's saying. Is that
She's
we're not
saying,
following
dump the tea into
we're
the
not
sea.
following the Constitution, and or some people believe that we're not following the Constitution, so therefore they're not going to pay
They're
taxes. So I
not
think
gonna
that's where her right.
I think I can
but-
unite all of us on the way out of this question.
Okay. Yeah.
We can all agree that
Leah
there's
said,
not,
stop.
there's not one person in Washington that I would trust to watch my house for an hour while I was
100%.
gone.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
It doesn't matter which letter is attached to their name. I don't
Right.
trust any of them because they're all in it for their self-interest.
I do like your point, and I think it is a very astute point that this country is not unified or together or is too divided for us to agree what time the sun's going to come up.
I think you should pay attention to your local races more than who ends up in the White House because they have more effect on you day to day.
Absolutely.
As far as splost money and all that, there's some good articles out there about some stuff going on here locally about
Keep preaching,
some
Sleeve.
splost stuff, and we're not a political show yet.
And we did have a
Thanks.
political candidate on.
Cruz
We
is
did,
trying.
and also doesn't matter what side you're voting on or anything. Our former guest, Cocky Alleman Chili, is gathering signatures just to be on the ballot, to be considered.
it.
Doesn't matter if you vote for him or not, but
Right.
if you could at least give him a chance
Give them a
and
chance.
get a signature, you can go. You can just Google Cocky Alleman Chili and there'll be some directions.
Common spelling.
Yeah, but there'll be some links to get you to put it to a signature. He needs signatures on a petition to get his name on the ballot.
That's it.
It's not a push for him or not. It's just
Right.
saying to get him on the ballot. So throw that out there.
The cruise missile wants this to be a political show.
It does, but I don't. Anyways, we're gonna end this because we're
I have
about.
a question.
I wanna
for sure.
keep it
Was there-
We do have a half question.
What's the half question?
Raytron and Bolly, the little Sleezettes, are in town this weekend, and she wanted to know why she couldn't be on the show. I said I never said you couldn't, and then a shopping trip was offered, and
Oh,
our show
question.
doesn't exist.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Because I was gonna put her on, and now she's spending my money somewhere at Lululemon or
Remind me
Yeah,
which
right.
Sleezette,
this was Raytron.
the eldest.
That's right. So, anyways, that was a half question. Any final thoughts before we?
I want you to keep going with the social discourse and the political.
Well, we can. We're at our time limit here.
First goodbye.
12 goodbyes.
Well, goodbyes.
Miss Berry's ready to take it on back out of county.
She's back behind the scenes,
Yeah.
telling
Yep.
us to
Kill it.
kill it. So
Crosberry, we do appreciate you coming on the show.
absolutely.
Well, good
Hey,
luck
thanks
to
for
you.
the
100%. Come get your
Did you
koozies.
hear
We
me?
got a
Yeah,
bunch.
yeah.
No,
reach out.
seriously, if you really would like a koozie, reach out to me. We have several, and I don't mind getting them to you because they're really awesome. Thank you for bringing them.
Yeah.
And the Frenchie's blue,
Frenchie's
man.
blue.
I
What
reckon
do
you
you
like
think of
it.
that? Was it pretty good?
It was pretty
Not
good.
too bad.
Had a blueberry taste to it.
Not a blueberry fan.
Not a beer guy. But I've clearly joined a beer show.
Well,
No.
We had a mocktail.
Next
Sorry, we've had a mocktail.
next week you can bring whatever drink of the week you want. How about that?
Okay.
Hey,
Well, it'll be bourbon.
that's fine. Check.
Check it.
Check.
But the Frenchie's blue, if you're a beer guy, it is a good blueberry.
It was not terrible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frenchy.
Beer. Yep. Good luck to you on your season.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Can we live in a world where the kids start to learn the plays instead of just spoon feeding them everything?
Maybe when they get into high school. Maybe when they get into high
wanted to
school.
get into a long, fiery discussion about us enabling people
I
in
think.
this American society that's getting feminized.
I think Crosberry.
Oh my God! What?
I don't even know what just happened there. But
We were having a good show.
Yeah. Debatable.
We were having our regular marginal show.
We were having a show.
yeah, 2.5 stars.
Crosberry was providing great background noise.
Yeah.
I'm coming off the top rope.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Sheriff. I've got several players that if I'd have gave him a playbook, including my quarterback,
Awesome.
he's already learned the plays. He knows
Perfect.
he's
What
getting
he's trying
on
to- what he's-
to other players for not running the exact route.
Yeah.
What he's
So-
trying to say is that they don't have the extra attendance, so they will score high on the one-minute test.
Exactly right.
There we go. Double and triple down now.
So shout out though.
Lee is ready to go.
I was gonna give one other shout out. If
Shout
you're
out,
in the Danielsville area, the Saints, that's our team. We've got 2 games this Friday night.
Unfortunate name.
And yeah, as a Falcons fan, it is an unfortunate, but
Oh, my
we
God.
we have
Saints?
2 games, 6:30 and 7:25.
Okay.
And all we need is 1 win to clinch the #1 seed.
Nice.
And with that, we'll be automatic bid for the championship game
Nice.
on March the 2nd.
I
So,
am not
yep.
picking on you or Miss Berry. I'm just saying I'm glad there's some masculinity that's memorizing stuff and holding people accountable. Not to say women can't memorize stuff, but go ahead.
All right,
We're getting out of
we
here.
signing off.
Crosberry, I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody
Thanks,
listening.
please.
Let me know if you want a koozie. We'll get them out because they're too good to keep hidden. And we'll catch you next week, episode 21, hopefully. And probably.
Probably not.
And we'll see if the sheriff remembers the drink. All right. Thank you.